Hi, teachers and staff. My name is Ms. Puzio, and I am a virtual content specialist for ELA Grade 3 HMH Into Reading. And for today, we are focusing on Module 8, Imagine Event, and we are on Lesson 1. The focus question is, what does it take to make a successful invention? So since this is the launch of the module, what I wanted to focus on with you today was how to take basically any of your slides on a Google slide and turn them into an interactive Jamboard for your students. And I thought this was particularly important and useful for the beginning of a module, since this is when you are building the background knowledge for your students, you're eliciting the prior knowledge from them, and you're getting them engaged and you're getting them interested in the module and into the lesson. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take a look at the slides, and you're going to see which ones would be, best to lend themselves to a Jamboard. So first, let's just take a look at the lesson. The focus question is, what does it take to make a successful invention? So we're going to be taking a look at, inventions and thinking about that when we are talking to our students. So the lesson objective is to share some information and ideas about a topic under a discussion, which is why Jamboard is a great tool for this. And the warm-up is going to be introducing the topic, Imagine Event, Invent, and the knowledge focus. So in this module, they're going to read text and view some media related to inventors and inventions, and they're going to think about some examples of inventors and inventions that have changed the world or made everyday life easier and more fun. So this might not be the best slide to make a Jamboard with them. So after you show them the Get Curious video, you talk about this question with them and, go through some of the words with them. A slide that you might want to use, even if you're doing this synchronously with them, which is live. The check for understanding might be a good slide you might want to use for the Jamboard, since you want to elicit the knowledge from them live. So the way that you would do this is you would just go to the slide and click it, and we're going to click File, and then we're going to click Download, and then we're going to do JPEG. And it's going to download just as the name of the file here, and it's going to be in your downloads folder. So then the next thing you're going to do, and you want to make sure you only have that slide selected. So then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to open up a new tab in Jamboard. And you're going to open up a file here in Jamboard. So I know what most people do is they usually just paste a picture on Jamboard. And the reason I tend not to do that is because unless you have really good routines and structures down, the students tend to move the picture around. So for example, if I go back and copy this and I paste it, I'll just give you an example here. Let's say I go back and I copy this and I paste it. Students tend to sometimes, and they may not mean it, they tend to sometimes move things around a lot, and it can get a little bit frustrating. So what I like to do is I like to go to Set Background, and I like to set the image I just downloaded as the background image. So you would go to Set Background, go to Background and Browse, go to your downloads, and in your downloads it should be the last file you just downloaded. And then you'll see here that your picture that you just downloaded becomes your background picture, which now the kids, or the students rather, cannot move, as you could see here. So whether you have a small group or whether you have a large amount of students, this at least alleviates some of the behavior or the moving of the picture with the students in the Jamboard. So now you can have some of the students open up a sticky note and then write what, for the check for understanding, what they think it, means to make an invention. I'm just writing the word invention just as a sticky note. Then they can all put their answers here, and you could check for their understanding, what it takes to make a successful invention. Let's say working hard, whatever their answers are going to be. That could be something you could do to check for their understanding, whether it's one student or multiple students. So Again, instead of using an individual picture and pasting it right on Jamboard, this is a good way to make sure that they're not moving the pictures around. So if we go back here, another slide you might want to use, okay, is the wrap-up slide. So you would go through the same steps. You would download it as a picture and insert it into your Jamboard as a background. And this is just a good way to check for understanding from the whole class. And you can also have your Jamboard already set up for them so that you're not making it on the spot. So let's say you wanted to use this as your wrap-up. We would download it as the picture. And if you wanted to have this ready to go, you would just click Create Frame over here. And that way you have as many kind of slides as you need as possible. So that way when your Jamboard is ready, you could just move to the next one. Set background and insert it. So here, what additional information did we learn from the text and graphic features? And then the students can just insert their information, their sticky notes, and won't be moving this around. So it provides less of a distraction for the students. And that way you can move along and have it all prepared for them. And that way you're set up for success as well. And this can really be applied to any lesson, but I think it's just a good start, especially for launching the beginning of a lesson, especially a new module. And even if you were to go back to the beginning and you were to talk about even this slide right here, something I would do with this picture here, I would add in possibly a See, Think, Wonder, or I would ask the students here what they think about the quote. So I would also download this picture here, download it as a JPEG. I would insert it into the Jamboard, set background, and it's right there in your downloads. And then I would just pose the prompt to them and ask them to write what they see, what they think, what they wonder about the boy in the picture, discuss their ideas about the quote, and the students can write what they feel about the quote or the picture. That's just an example there. And the students can just put their Post-its all around. It doesn't have to be perfectly placed. And at least, like I said, that provides way less of a distraction for them. And it just makes your Google Slides or the slide decks a little more interactive, especially when you are launching a module.